Welcome back, all you beautiful people. My name is Jaco. Today's topic we are going to be dealing with carving three-dimensional shapes out of solid gold. Not wax, solid gold. Watch till the end. Typically, to produce these three-dimensional shapes, a person would carve it in wax and go through a process called the lost wax casting process to get the metal cast into the shape that you want from the wax that you've carved. The proportion of time that I had to make these in stops me from going through that whole process, but I've actually done this before. If you're looking at this Instagram post I've done over here with the little hair that we carved. In fact, it's for the same customer. Let me explain to you why I enjoy carving something out of gold. Where wax is more forgiving because you can add wax to it when you made a mistake or you want to build something up, gold doesn't allow you that luxury. But there's where the challenge lies. It's nice to go into something thinking I can't make a mistake, because by making a mistake I have to start over. So you really have to plan these things. The method I go about, and I'll start off by saying perhaps that I'm not in this video going to show you each one of the charms I carved, because there were, how many charms were there, Maya?
I can't remember exactly, but there were a few.
It could have been 7 charms or something.
Yeah.
7 very different charms. I'm going to start off with this bull charm. I've been asked to carve a Spanish bull. 3-dimensional, so not flat at the back. The dimensions of this bull from tail to head was 12 millimeters. So if you can imagine, all of the detail, muscle structure, posture and everything needs to be created in this tiny little space. I decided to cast a piece of material which in dimension, I know if I had to take 12 millimeters, and I've read up on this, I've read up on the dimensions of a bull. I know that my proportions this way means that if the bull in real life is that long, that the width is this long, and I prepared my piece of metal for that. Now I know I've got excess length, but that's because I'm going to hold on to the one piece and not cut it off. And then I created this bull from 12 millimeters from the edge this way. I started off by getting an image of this particular stance of the bull, scaling it down on my computer. I would scale it down to what I believe it would be the right size, and then fractionally up, fractionally down, and a couple of copies of that so that I've got a page full of different sizes. So that once I printed it, I know I'm exactly on the size that I need to have. From there onwards, literally just stick it on there with a little bit of Pritt glue, the size that's appropriate for what you've measured and how you would like to make it. And you start with the basics. We start removing the areas which definitely can be removed. I can cut the silhouette out of a piece of material that's just 2-dimensional, so just the silhouette, like I see in the picture there. Cut that out, and it's a good starting point. And from there onwards, as you turn it, you know there's a rounding on the back, you know that the legs go a certain way, there's something happening with the stomach, the way it comes into the top, the head, and everything gets sculpted from there onwards. I was given a certain brief of what the customer wanted, and there were specifications that I needed to follow, which I'm happy to do because that's my role as a goldsmith. The customer wanted something that looked sculptured, they wanted something that looked rough, and we're going to abide by that. I have several references to several different angles that I would arrange on a piece of paper and print out and have that stuck right next to me, continuously looking at it, and then taking ball phrases in different sizes and start carving it away. The key is to go slow. Once you've taken the material away, then the entire thing is lost. So you want to start with small little rounding, and then realize I can go a little further, and then cautiously go further until you get the sculpted body right. Just as much as I've made these little skull rings, you can do it from wax, you can do it in silver. My suggestion is, if you want to get into this kind of thing, silver is a very forgiving material in the sense that it's very cheap. Set yourself a size, call it 12 or 10 or maybe 15 millimeters. Follow this kind of sculpting concept through. You won't believe how much fun you're having, and then once you're done, you've got a little charm which you can either make a vulcanized mold out of and reproduce, or put it on a bracelet, put it on a neck piece. Regardless, that type of carving, that kind of sculpting in gold is not impossible. it actually allows you to get a little bit closer to the personality of the material because you are working against it and it's working back towards you. The next thing I turned my attention to was, what was that called again? Thistle. These are words I've never used in my life. They do not roll off the tongue. This was also from an example given. The type of thistle was important. You know, the flower has got a lot of detail. Again, we didn't go with the detail. It was more sort of like a coat of arms style. Anything is absolutely possible if you put your mind to it. You see the blank piece of material and you can extract shapes from it. And this is what makes carving these kind of charms so much fun. So here are the tips. Go slow, which is something I probably say most of the time in most of my videos I've come to realize. But it is important. Start with a silhouette, remove parts that are not necessary, and then slowly move in towards your shape that you're looking for. Use a reference. References are good. Get all kinds of angles, get the natural picture. If you're pressing like the bull, for instance, get pictures of bulls, get shapes, get diameters, print it all out so that you can continuously look at it. When it comes down to the tools of making, creating this little sculpture, they're all going to differ for what you're busy carving. Like the little bull, I used a lot of ball phrases. I also used some of the carbon discs for cutting away some of the bigger pieces. The smallest, tiniest files. I mean, whatever you can get to get into those little crevices, the little spaces, as far as using gravers, really fantastic. But with the next one, like for instance when I did this Lily of the Valley, there's a bit of plate work instruction in there. I had actually soldered some pieces together. I use my machine, my Fordham pendant motor or flexible shaft motor, to spin like you would on a lathe, spin the little flowers with it. So you're going to be using all the tools to your disposal, and that's part of the fun because you have to sort of sit and think. It's not your usual thing as usual. You're not going, I'm going to take the ring, mandrel and make this ring round. It's none of that stuff. You have to think, you have to find the tool, and it's there. If you're a jeweler, if you're a goldsmith and it's on your desk, it's there. We do things, and I guess we do it because it makes me feel good as much as what I make the customer feel good about receiving it. I love that connection. To have a personalized piece means that you're making just the one, just for them. I hope with this video I've had some part of inspiring you to try this. What a lot of fun this was. I really enjoyed it. It takes your head away from the usual stuff and puts it into almost an artist's hat on the other side. We're getting a lot of people commenting and a lot of positive comments. We are answering lots of questions. I believe we're doing something good for the trade. Feels good doing what we're doing. And we will continue doing these videos as long as you enjoy viewing them. So, see you next week. Cheers.